Partridge Amendment was part of the sales tax increase in 2016. This helped it actually pass so we could raise teacher pay. The Partridge Amendment anticipated the Amazon tax and said if we win that case, then for every $20 million we get from that new sales tax revenue, we're going to lower the state sales tax by 0.1%. So, for instance, if we get $40 million out of the Amazon tax, then next year our state sales tax is supposed to go down from 4.5 to 4.3. I bet I'm out of time, aren't I, Kathy? All right, let's keep going. I'm wrapping up. Given that if you understand what that amendment is, I think that was a good amendment to help pass the teacher pay raise. I worry that if we repeal it, that might undermine support for continuing that teacher pay raise. I'm open to looking at it for food tax, looking at that extra revenue for food tax relief instead of lowering the overall rate, but I think that's a very careful discussion to have. Thank you.
Well, as it has become known, the Partridge Amendment is the law of South Dakota, and it was a part of the compromise. It was something that I think brought some people on board, and I would not seek to repeal that until we've had a broader discussion about what exactly we can fund without those additional dollars. And I recognize that that does present us with an opportunity should we decide that we can't provide additional dollars and additional resources to, say, the Aspires, the Adjustment Training Centers, mental health institutions, etc. And I want to provide this caveat, and I know we're short on time, but each administration has its own set of priorities, and I would like to see what the Sutton or Nome priorities are. I would also like to see if the legislature shifts its priorities. But we will be faced with a decision. And as of right now, the Partridge Amendment is part of the law, and I'm not in a hurry to repeal it. But if we cannot provide additional dollars for our community-based service providers and our long-term care providers, I would consider repealing it and earmarking it for those areas, perhaps only. Thank you.
Yes, I would absolutely be in favor of repealing the Partridge Amendment, get that part over with first. You know, I earned myself a 2-year hiatus in 15 and 16, and so I watched the improvements to highway funding and to education funding happen from afar. But I do remember that again, and I'm being hard on Brown County today, and I mean to be. You had no votes in 16 on that teacher pay increase funding bill. And that bill passed with no votes to spare. At least, and I'm not going to name names because I might get one wrong, but there were at least 2 no votes between your House and Senate delegations on that bill. You have to, we don't know for sure how much money this may bring in. Everybody, the opponents like to talk about expanding government. Well, if expanding government is giving a pay raise to your Aspire employees, allowing Northern State University to compete for faculty, and figuring out a way to keep our college education graduates from leaving the state because of the higher pay there, then so be it. Let's expand government. Thank you.
I was a yes vote for increasing teacher pay when that bill came up, and part of that was a negotiated, it was a compromise, and part of that compromise said is that if we get a windfall, in other words, more money shows up from the proposed internet sales tax, that we would help take that extra money and reduce sales tax with it. I think that was a promise made, and I think that the legislature agreed to that as a part of the overall compromise, and I think to take out that as part of that bill would be going back upon an agreement that was made in the Capitol. So I would be very resistant to taking that and not giving back the sales tax as promised. But future legislators do have the ability and authority to go back and change things. So it's been done before, and it's part of the process. But to me, I believe it's a promise made.
All right, next